life and complete your goals, though. Shine bright like the golden sun. Fight until your soul is one. This ain't for the lost, this for the chosen ones.
Hey filmmakers, do you like bloom, halation, film grain, film damage? This might just be the video for you. Check it out. This is just a heads up, but this video is unlike any other video I've done before because today I have a very special announcement. And it's just fun to be able to say this, but this video is sponsored by Dehancer. And today we are going to have a review of Dehancer's products. And of course, as a sponsored video, no money has exchanged hands. They actually reached out to me, and if you sign up with the code Artell that's in the description, you guys get 10% off your purchase at Dehancer. So let's get into it. As you guys already know, I am an interviewer content creator that sometimes make content reviews about like episodes of anime. Why did Dehancer reach out to me? Let's talk about it. I believe that color grading is a very necessary tool to the filmmaking process because at the core of everything, I want to make sure that my videos have a certain look and feel to them. And in order to do that, this entire video, just so you guys get an understanding, has been graded with Dehancer. And as we go through this process, we're going to show you some before and afters and probably even show you some comparisons between Dehancer's color grading tool and Premiere's grading tool, which is my NLE of choice, of course. What is Dehancer? Dehancer is a color grading tool that allows you to have film emulations on your videos. So for me, if I want to kind of like make my interview styles seem a little bit more retro, a little bit more 70s, I can use these types of effects that you guys are currently seeing on this video. It looks pretty cool, right? With Dehancer, you can use a lot of tools like halations. You can use soft grades. You can use organic textures. You can use all of these with creative LUTs or lookup tables. I'm not really going to talk about LUTs and lookup tables because that's not the purpose of this channel. You guys can definitely look into other channels to see more specifics about LUTs and stuff of that nature, which is something that I do use when I do my color grading videos. I do kind of like use starter LUTs, which is basically LUTs that convert your footage to look like this grainy, grayish footage here to a Rec 709 timeline, and it's a whole different process. We can have a whole segment, a whole class of different color grading tools that we're not going to cover. What I like about Dehancer is this. I shoot on Sony, right? Shout out Sony. And with Sony cameras, they have very great, very sharp images. What Dehancer does for me is it would take an image that is extremely sharp, and I don't want to use the word degrade or tone it down, but it definitely would take an image and it would tone it down just a bit so that it doesn't have like that clinical sharpness that we all come to love about Sony's, especially because right now I'm shooting with all Sigma lenses, right? So the image itself is going to be very sharp, but as you can see, I can go through the different steps in Dehancer and I can kind of like degrade the image a little bit to give it more of a classical, organic film look, because honestly, that's the whole entire purpose of Dehancer, is to kind of like take your footage and give it that organic film look. And that's what I like about it. If you want your footage to have that old time feel to it, and you really want to take away some of the sharpness and some of that over sharpness, that over sharp look on your film, that super digital look, then Dehancer just might be the tool for you. So today we're going to talk about it. But real talk, let's talk about the caveats of Dehancer. If you never graded before, this might feel overwhelming. And sometimes it can be, because it is a very advanced tool that you have a certain look that you're looking for. People who are new to this color grading thing, they may not necessarily understand the different process and how footage is processed to give it that certain look or that certain grainy feel and texture that we all love and that we all see in some of our favorite films. I think one of the best films that come to mind is something like Sin City. Let me give you guys a quick little lesson about Dehancer and the way their tools work. Oftentimes when we make videos, we just throw a simple LUT on it and call it a day. That's not quite how Dehancer works with its footage. So when you are putting a simple LUT over most footage most of the time, a lot of the time that footage has not been processed properly. What Dehancer does is it's a tool that allows you to properly go through line by line settings that you can add to your footage. So you can add the blooms, you can add the halations, you can modify the highlight, you can modify the exposures, you can reach in, you can deepen your blacks, you can bump up your shadows. So that way you can actually tailor the image to exactly how you want to look. It wouldn't be a fair and honest review if I didn't give my take on utilizing and using the software, or the plugin, I should say. With Dehancer, I am fairly good when it comes to the whole color grading world. Hence, Dehancer reaching out to me because I'm assuming they loved my work, and it's such a pleasure to be able to work with you guys. So I really do appreciate this opportunity. But I think with Dehancer, there are certain things within the app that I kind of like was hard pressed on. One of the biggest things with Dehancer that I had a problem navigating was the built-in LUTs presets that you guys have available. As I was going through it, I found myself kind of like making additional changes to the presets to get it kind of like dialed in. Your computer might be screaming if you decide to use halation, bloom, and film damage, because these presets, they could be taxing on your computer. Don't get it twisted. It could be taxing. So you might want to be cautious about that and make sure that your computer has a decent spec boost, because you might just need it. Here's my 2 cents. If you as a filmmaker want that emotional, nostalgic, I even say cinematic look, then Dehancer might be the product for you, because it will give you all of that. It will give you all those professional tools that you've come to love from other NLEs like DaVinci, for example. I do appreciate the fact that they have a lot of camera choices to choose from Aris to Sonys to the FX3s to FX30s. It had, if you shot it in 800, it has if you shot it in 2500. I think that's an amazing thing. I've never seen nobody do that before. And I think that that's those fine little touches that are really good. But what I did not really have a good grasp on is kind of like having to increase and decrease the intensity of the LUT, right? And I think that would be something that would be really good to establish. If there was a more dedicated slider for that, I could have missed it by mistake, but maybe by the time this video gets into edit, I can like come back and kind of like recap on that, and then I'll be able to say, okay, I did find it.
Hey, it's Future Me here, and I did find the intensity tool, as you can see on screen. So I just wanted to drop in and kind of like let this guy know that what he said wasn't 100% accurate. It's all about accountability.
So I have a little fun fact. I am actually in the process of making a black and white film. The good thing about that is because the black and white film has that old school aesthetic, the fact that Dehancer reached out to me, because now I can incorporate this into my black and white idea. Matter of fact, if you can notice, this is me color grading with Dehancer, making it into a black and white clip. What are your thoughts? So just like with anything, guys, before you guys get started, if you guys are going to use Dehancer or any other color grading tools, the one thing you guys have to remember is lighting is extremely important. Because if you don't light properly, there's no tools, there's no grading tools that can take ugly lighting and make it amazing lighting. So that's some of the caveats that you guys have to take in when it comes to utilizing Dehancer as a tool. Final take on the whole Dehancer as a whole, I think it's a great editing tool. I think it is a slight learning curve, but if you want to really up your game and get into the color grading, arena, and you really want to make your films and your videos, for a lot of people that's watching, your reels, to have more of a punchy look, I think Dehancer is for you. And if that's the case, don't forget to use the code in the description to get 10% off signing up for Dehancer today. Dehancer, I appreciate you guys. Thank you guys for allowing me to make this video. I thank you guys for reaching out to me. And for all those are watching, I appreciate you guys for staying here and for watching and checking out the video. So until the next one, stay tuned.
Live your life and complete your goals, though. Shine